Every business eventually gets to a point where they want to move past the phase of just relying on referrals, relying on a word of mouth, and maybe relying on the business owner's sole effort of networking and going out and finding more clients and more customers for your product or services and for your business. And so how do you do that? Well, that process is called prospecting. Now, the first thing you have to understand with prospecting is what it is and what you're actually talking about doing. And so prospecting is literally that effort of trying to go out, reaching out to people and convince them or tell them about your product or service and show them why it's a good purchase for them. Now, when you're doing this, you have to understand that you're typically reaching to people outside of your network, people that may not even know your business exists, what its purpose is, what your solutions and products are, and how you can really help them. And they may not even care. And so really, prospecting comes down to being a numbers game. And so while you're working on referrals and you really don't need that many referrals, you really don't need that many word of mouth customers coming in, you really don't have to stress too much about working your network all that much because those people know you, they like you, they trust you. When you're prospecting and you're starting to reach out to brand new people, all of that goes out the window. It's absolutely a numbers game. And so the second thing is how do you play that numbers game? Well, you're going to need intentional and consistent activity. Intentional and consistent activity is absolutely important to making sure that your prospecting methods are going to have a return on investment. Prospecting takes time to work because you need to take people that either don't know you, don't trust you, or don't know what you can do for them, and you need to put them through a process where you can start to build value, build that trust, and convince them that you have the product or service that meets their needs. And so that takes a lot of time. And during that time that you're starting to work on those people, you need to also be doing the same activity over and over to continue to build that amount of the activity and that amount of customers down the road. And so you need to have a very intentional plan. You need to have a process of, look, this is how we get in front of people. This is how we build value. This is how we get their contact information and permission to contact them again and start to offer them our products and services and our solutions. And then you need to take that plan and you need to do it consistently. It's going to be better if you do that on a smaller number of people every single day than if you were to do a large number one day, a very small amount of people the next day, and then maybe a medium the day after that, and then maybe you take a couple of days off. I see this so many times with salespeople and sales team. They start to get a little amount of success, and then they want to kind of kick up their feet and take a break. Prospecting is something that needs to be done consistently every day. And if it starts getting to a point, or when it starts getting to a point that you actually get so many leads, what you do to facilitate that is you hire more people. And so maybe you're hiring junior people that come in and they just prospect and then hand the leads over to your sales staff, experienced sales staff, or maybe you just hire more salespeople that are doing both. It depends on how your business is structured. But either way, if you want to build that large sales pipeline that you probably have always heard about, and you want to have so many leads that you have to continue to hire more people because those leads are converting into customers and you're making more money and you want to facilitate more growth for your business, then that activity absolutely must be done consistently and it must be done intentionally. Okay, so once you have the activity being done, the next thing that you need to make sure that you have in place is a process. What is the process of not just the outreach, but what is the process of, great, we reached out to this person. If they're interested, what is the next step? If they're not interested, what do we do with them? How do our people that are prospecting respond? How do they categorize them? How do they qualify them? How do they see if they're a good fit for your products and services? These are all things that you need to have a process for. How do we build value with them? You need to make sure that you have a process to take these new people through, because if you don't have a process, you're going to come across like you're not an expert, like you don't really know what you're doing, and that you really don't know what to set as far as expectations for these potential customers. And people are always going to remember how you made them feel, not necessarily what you said to them. And so having a process is going to really make it to where your potential lead, your potential customer feels very confident with who you are, what you do very quickly, and they're going to start to build that trust with you. I'm glad you're enjoying the video. If you need help with hiring, training, or managing your VAs, make sure you click the link in the description below to check out our free VA hiring workshop. If you need one-on-one help with me, click the link to schedule an appointment to see how I can help. Now, once you have the activity planned out, you have the process down for, okay, if they're interested, they go to this step. If they're not interested, they go to that step. The next thing that you want to think about is follow-up. So for people that are interested, for people that are busy, for maybe people that weren't interested, what is your process of follow-up? How often are you going to follow up? What kind of follow-up are you going to do? This should be really thought out and experimented with. You should try different methods of follow-up, whether it be running retargeting ads, whether it be sending emails, whether it be getting these people to subscribe to a YouTube channel, and now they're watching your videos every time that they're published. You need to come up with some effective ways to stay in front of these people so you can continue to build trust and rapport with them and be a viable option for them when they need your product or service. And so you can do all the prospecting in the world, but if you only ever reach out to someone once or twice, the odds of them becoming a customer are extremely, extremely low. The way you start to build value with someone is by staying in front of them and giving them the content that they want, whether it's humor or whether it's educational, informational, valuable, whatever it is. You need to make sure that you're staying in front of that person so that way they can remember and start to like and trust your business and your message and your just overall purpose of being in business and how you help your customers. And so the last thing that you need to make sure that you're doing with all of these steps is you need to make sure that you're tracking, you're analyzing, and you're adjusting. And so certain scripts may work with some groups of people, they may not work with others. The first script you come up with may not work at all. It may work great. You need to come up with different ways of overcoming objections, different ways of following up, different ways of bringing value to people, because everyone receives content. They receive value in a little bit of different ways. And you will find some patterns here. You'll find some averages, and you'll really be able to kind of hone in and figure out what works best for your business, your products, your services, and what works best for your solutions. But you have to be able to track, analyze, and then adjust what you're doing. You may realize that, hey, we don't need to reach out to so many people all at once if we can hone in and do better on the process side of things and build more value in better ways with them. Or, hey, maybe we need to just start with tracking everything that we're doing just so that way we can kind of see where we're currently at. Maybe we're reaching out to all these people, but the value add stage is not working the way we thought it would, and it's not getting us any further. And so really continuing to reach out to the same amount of people on the front end and continuing to give them bad value or no value at all is not helping your business grow, is not helping you get more customers. And so the only way you're going to know what is working, what isn't working, how you can adjust, and how you can tweak to make this process of prospecting and converting people into customers is going to be by tracking, analyzing, and then adjusting where needed, so that way you can reach out to the best people possible, you can give them the best value that you can come up with possible, and really build that trust and rapport as quickly as possible, so that way they feel comfortable becoming a customer with your business. And so guys, that's everything about prospecting from a top level. You can obviously dive down on each one of these, and you can talk about prospecting via salespeople, prospecting via advertising on social media or Google. There's many ways of prospecting out there. There's many ways of generating leads. You just need to make sure that you're following this process so that it's actually helping your business, and it's not just a time and resource suck for you and your team. Hey everyone, that's the end of the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see more videos like this one, go ahead and leave the like button to let me know that you got value from the video, as well as go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that way you can be tuned in when I create more videos in the future. Also, go ahead and check out the description if you want to find out more information about working with me one-on-one. I do provide consulting and coaching services for hiring VA teams, for marketing teams, and sales teams to help your business get consistent growth so you can live a life of abundance.